Well, a very good afternoon to all our viewers here on the Ken Rampersaud Show. We have now the young man, Mr. Albert Baldeo. He looked very distinguished in his suit and tie with his white shirt and face looking sharp. Good to have you on, Mr. Baldeo. Good afternoon. How are you? Check check your mic. I am not hearing you. Check your mic. It's probably muted.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
hear me?
So yes, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you and also congratulations once again for beating COVID and for being a living example for others where your spirit and your fight can often determine life and death. And I know you have young kids. I'm so happy for you and your family. And thank God that you didn't go. So many have died, 500,000. So thank God for that, Ken.
You know, Albert, I am so glad that you brought that up because I want to say on the air how grateful I am to you. Thank you very much for reaching out to me. I know you were calling and was checking on me. Also, some of you guys may not know that Albert wrote into probably New York One, and he put me as the person of the week on the TV. I smiled when I saw that, and I knew it was you who did that.
Right. I had to do that because so many people were losing and we needed some hope and some faith that here's someone who beat the virus.
Right.
So it gave comfort and it gave hope. And that was a whole lesson and message. And you were a great example of that. And you did your part in it. So, that was wonderful of you. And New York One to give us hope. And now the vaccine is here. We have another set of roadblocks coming up. So we got to talk about that too.
Yes, I know that you're ready. We all know that Albert Baldeo is a community leader, has been doing so much work in our community to make a better community for all of us here, especially in Queens, right? I see you doing, putting the elevator and so on in the subway. I was looking at some pictures not too long ago.
That's true. Since 2000, I realized that as a lawyer, I could become wealthy, I could become, comfortable, but my brothers and sisters, they would not. And hence, there's often a political solution. And why I ran for office, because a Republican senator, a white gentleman by the name of Surf Maltese, he sponsored a bill. And he called us all swarty. And when I checked the meaning of that, I realized he was saying that all brown people ought to be profiled, that they can come into our home and they can stop us on the road and frisk us and treat us differently. So that was to legalize racial profiling in this country.
Yes.
And I realized that as a lawyer, if I didn't get involved, then I ran against him. And I almost beat him, and then he was defeated. But there's a lot of status quo and cronyism in the Democratic Party that prevents us from getting to our full measure. And they feel that you would just run away. So I wanted to leave a message that do not run away. They will come after you. They may try to destroy you. Rise stronger. And with the hope of God, we'll get our fair share. We get equality. America is never a perfect union, but it's far better than some other places. And then we were able to fight for Guyana's elections to make sure there was democracy there. So I've used my talents. I've used what God has given me, whatever little resources I have to fight the big fights. And I've done so. I have been suffered. I've actually been, arrested and stuff like that, but I've beat all those stuff. I've been able to rise above it. So I want my life to be an example because America is never going to be a great and equal, perfect place for our kids. We will always be looked down. We will always be marginalized unless we change that. And that is why Ken, I got involved. And, most lawyers don't get involved in politics. They drive a Mercedes-Benz or they have 3 flat screen TV and they live in a fancy house and they move out to Long Island. As soon as the licks start, they fly. Now, as a lawyer, you're supposed to be civil rights. You're supposed to have the kinner. You're supposed to have the backbone. But unfortunately, with the greatest respect to my colleagues and everybody else, a lot of people just fortify themselves and then they're gone. They don't want to help others. But I have grown up with the grassroots. And I've Cherry Jagan is behind me, Dr. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Barack Obama. These men, Nelson Mandela, they all gave their life, Ken. Unlike you, I know you could have been putting up your foot up in bed now, but you also felt that we have to disseminate the word from your knowledge as a nurse, from your knowledge as a broadcaster, from your knowledge as a Finch specialist. All these great things you share. So great men like you share your knowledge, people who care. And that is the definition between great and small. And I hope that we prepare more to the greater side or, the more caring side of the small-minded people.
Well, thank you. And, you are so true that we give so much. I worked today, I came home, And I said, let me take a nap, but I could not take a nap. I said, let me ask you some questions. Let's talk a little bit. Let's go to COVID. We know that COVID took so many lives in America and around the world. As a community leader, what update you have concerning the pandemic here in New York, especially in Queens, in our community? Are you there? You are watching the Ken Rampersaud Show here right on Island Zone Radio. This is a special edition with the man himself, Mr. Albert Baldeo.
Right. Ken, I think I've lost you a little while. Let me try to... Okay.
I'm hearing you now.
You hearing me now?
I'm hearing you now. Yes.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yes. So let me go back.
Live. I mean, I'm trying to raise my hand. I'm seeing it's not coming up.
Yes, you are live. And I'm seeing you good. So that's a good sign.
Uh-huh. That's an older one. I'm trying to go. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while you're trying to get yourself together, I want to say, guys, that we know we have Miss Andrea Ogle is trying to become a judge, the first Guyanese judge from Guyana, the Caribbean. So what we need to do to get her to be a judge, we need to call our community leaders and ask them to get signatures so that we can put her on the ballot so she can represent us all in New York. So are you ready? Are you still not hearing?
Wait, I'm coming on back, Ken, because I lost you. You had sent me that link.
But I'm hearing you, so you can go.
I'll get the link now, and I'll come back on live.
You are on live
now, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
So we're back. We have to recapitulate.
Yes.
So you wanted me to talk about the COVID?
Yeah, the COVID. As a community leader, what update you have concerning the pandemic here in Queens, especially?
Well, listen, COVID is, as you know, the number one issue in the world. Guyana, yes. America, all over the place. And one of the problems we have, first of all, let's start with the mental block of some people. There's an old saying in Guyana that beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
And I find a lot of what you call pseudo-intellectuals. People suddenly become doctors and some people nurses. And, I'm a regular guy. They come up to me and said, Albert, this COVID vaccine, then people find them, it normally take 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. But I give you, we don't know if that gonna be that a real thing or somebody make money or they may use our best guinea pig.
Right.
And then somebody talk about a Tuskegee experiment when they had a group of black folks and they injected them and used them as guinea pigs without their knowledge and to see the effects of certain drugs on their bodies. This is not the case here. Because you have all these big companies who are responsible for the drugs, their brand name is on it. It's not like they're giving you a vial without a name, an anonymous, nameless person. Somebody's accountable. So we have all the vials, which we can subpoena, which we can get where this vaccine comes out from. It's clear. So you can't see whether it's adulterated. Some people say it might be water, just like a placebo.
Right.
Nobody gonna get National Guard, bring soldier, bring this, and bring all these things that cost a lot of money. Rent out York College, Medgar Evans, just to have a dog and pony show.
Right.
If you don't have time with that, they will tell you, "I'm sorry, the vaccine is not available. We don't have it." But they're not saying that. So when I say beggars can't be choosers, is that we as beggars must go and get the vaccine. And all this fancy medical talk, and this is only like 2%, 5% of the people are coming up with these medical terminologies that the thing might not be correct. I would say get the vaccine, get it quickly. What have you got to lose? That's number one question. What have you got to lose if they stick you with a vaccine? You have nothing to lose. It won't kill you.
Right, absolutely.
Two, the most you can do is go through your body and go into your urine. 3 is that at least you get a vaccine, psychologically and mentally, that you're equipped. Continue to wear your masks and so forth. I wear 2 masks when I go out. So, you can wear 2 masks just to cover up your face and so on. Make sure you protect yourself.
Right.
But make sure that you get the vaccine. And the way it can be gotten, you have to go, you can go to York College. That's where people can go. Vaccine.
If you're in Queens.
Here's what's going to happen. A lot of our people have got to understand that they have to help each other, like the grandparents, grandchildren, nephews, and so forth have to help each other. they have to go online. It's not like you could make the phone calls take a long time, you don't get through. But once you go online, vaccinefinder.nyc.gov. So please take this down, members of the audience. Vaccine Finder, VACCINEFINDER.NYC.gov, G-O-V. Go on there, you will see the sites that are available. Medgar Evans is open. I saw York is open also, and then it closed open. So they're called mega sites. They give 3,000 vaccines a day, Ken. 3,000.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
3,000.
Yes.
Imagine they're vaccinating 3,000 people. You got to marvel at the skill of these, the National Guard and the soldiers who are managing the federal system, the FEMA. And it's on the FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Medical Management agency, a government agency, not state or city. And the feds have all the money, they have all the powers. They have set this thing up. So there we are at your college. You don't have to get a plane. You don't have to get, most people got to get as a bus, a taxi, or somebody drop you there. And you go and you ask them, when can I get a vaccine? And they will give you an appointment. And if you have like a comorbidity, if you have like a
existing condition,
right, you have a prior condition, high blood pressure. Most Guyanese got high blood pressure. Most people in America right now, because of the problem. So they will qualify for high blood pressure. They will. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, asthma, breathing from smoking, all these things. You're most likely don't even have to get a check with a doctor. As long as you sign the form, they will give you the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that you don't have to be over 65. You don't have to be, an essential worker. These categories are, of course, covered for teachers and nurses and, MTA workers and restaurant workers and so on. But everybody in Richmond Hill by now is covered because what the governor said is that, and what the President Biden said, is that in a few months, 2 months or so, everybody will get a vaccine. Everybody in America, every adult in America. And therefore, it's beginning to roll out in such a way that you have to take advantage because your college opened last week. There were so many people lining up there. If you go there, you'll see the lines and stuff. And eventually they had to, they may not have vaccines readily available, but they'll have it in a few days or whatever. They may be open up. I didn't get to check the site today. But go to Vaccine Finder, one word, .nyc.gov, and make sure you go on there, or you go to York College, right at 160th Street and Liberty. 160th Street and Liberty is right by the physical education building.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, you'll see the lines. It's wonderful weather now,
Yes.
So you go there and you make an appointment. They might give you an appointment. A couple of people called me back and said, thanks, Albert. We did get an appointment in 2 weeks. So that's wonderful news. And then they'll give you the second shot and you're protected, Ken. So that's a good news. We've got to go get up and get as a community.
Yes. And I want to ask you this. I know you have a lot of experience in terms of immigration. If you doesn't have your green card in the United States, can you go and get your vaccine there?
Oh, that's a great question. Definitely. Right. Listen, this is not a green card issue. This is where you go. As long as you're standing on two legs.
Right.
That's all they want.
Even if you go on a stretcher, you could get it.
Even if you go on a stretcher, that's correct.
Even
if you crawl and you go, you will get it because you qualify. This is nothing about green card and where you come from and who's your mother and who's your father. No. This is about ID. Just the ID. All they want the ID is to see who they vaccinated and the age of the person, perhaps if they, if they want to. You tell them, but once you have a medical condition, you sign a form. The form is very easy. You take off where you got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, asthma, liver this or whatever. Just one you need.
Mm-hmm.
When you take off that, you will get the vaccine. Just the ID. They want nothing else. They want to know if you work, how much tax you pay, whether you're in the neighborhood fight. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't ask you if it's got a church or if it is course. Nothing is asked.
Mm-hmm.
All they ask is whether you want the vaccine. If you don't qualify immediately, we will put you in the appointment. You know what? Other communities are swamping your college. Other communities are getting their benefits. So it's no use we crying. We say, oh, Richmond Hill and Queens Village and, Ozone Park got the highest rate of vaccine. And you yourself are not going, people, to get the vaccine. You need to go. You need to ask. Nobody's going to arrest you. Nobody's going to tell anything about immigration. You might see people in army clothing. They are working there for the people. They are being sent and instructed by the president and the governor. that you go here and you serve the people, just like whether it's going to fight in wartime. A lot of them are glad to do it because they're doing a humanitarian mission. They are not going and kill people overseas. They are in a humanitarian mission, humanitarian cause. A lot of them are very grateful for the opportunity to serve humanity. So this is a case where you go and never be afraid of immigration, and don't ask, nobody will ask you about immigration. Nobody's going to bother you about that. The most they'll want is a city ID or the passport or your green card or your citizenship or your driver's license. So once you get a driver's license, you just take that with you, and you'll be, or your college ID or whatever, and explain to them that you do have these issues, that you do have the blood pressure, or you have cholesterol, whatever you have, they will accept you, or they'll give you a time in a week or two when the whole thing will open up. This thing is opening up now to everybody. So don't be afraid of that. So good question, Ken, and let us be assured that even an undocumented person, a man who can backtrack last night, can go tomorrow and get vaccinated.
Yes. Also, someone just sent me a question. What about age? I know they said children should not get this vaccine yet. Have you have any idea at what age you can start taking this vaccine?
Well, it seems that children with any kind of underlying conditions, even if they're like 15, 16, they would be able to get the vaccine as long as they have like some kind of disability, some kind of, and kids suffer from a lot of things like attention deficit disorder, different things that they grow out of. They can get a vaccine. So I've seen a lot of kids there, and I've seen them getting vaccinated. They're like 16, 17, but I haven't seen like babies and stuff, and I don't think they would need it. You're a nurse, do you know? What is it cut-off age?
I think that if you're a child, you're not going to get it at this time. Correct. Probably people who are 15 and 16 and so on. So one thing I want to say, though, to our viewers, I'm sorry I wouldn't get to say hello to our viewers, but a lot of them is watching us because we only have like about five to six. We're going to have to come off the air because I really thief some time to come on today. Is this vaccine free or not?
It is free. Nobody should be asking for any kind of money. This is free. This is from the federal government. They're the ones who are paying. And let's look at it this way. It's free. It's a vaccine. It's free because the government cares about its people. Everybody's paid taxes. A lot of us have paid taxes for you. Many businessmen, many lawyers, doctors, teachers, essential workers, everybody's paid taxes. So people have paid taxes for you in these communities. We have built these communities. So don't be afraid, don't be scared of that. We don't go on food stamps like some other communities and stuff like that. Everybody is entitled to the vaccine free. And hence, you don't even have to walk with any kind of money or credit card or payment. It's a free service. Sometimes like the one they have with just one, I think the Johnson & Johnson, just one vaccine.
Yes.
Some of the others is two. So everything is free for the vaccine, that is.
And do you think that we in our community is getting a fair share of this vaccine?
Well, we have. I will tell you that we fought hard. We had to make a lot of noise. We had to make a lot of stink, as they say. Some people came down here and said some officials, Richmond Hill and Ozone Park got the highest rate. And they were right, 17%. Yes. We got 17% infection rate of the virus. Imagine that, Richmond Hill.
Yes.
And other communities got 4 and 5%. So they said, these people them here, like them drink rum and them there work and they get party and them there like bacchanal. Bacchanal is a Trinidad carnival style of the album. I said, no. It's not that. Everybody's wearing a mask. Because I went myself and I checked. I walked down Richmond Hill. Everybody was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I didn't have to give out too many masks. I left some in the restaurants. I left some shields that, people have to face the public and so on. But it's not that. It is that because of the institutional racism, because of the systematic deprivation that we face as a minority community and as an immigrant community, we have been deprived of certain resources and benefits. And hence, we didn't get the vaccines, or we didn't get, a lot of people are going to do 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. Babysitters, security guards, MTA buses, lock doctors, whatever profession or job you did, which is all noble. A lot of us had to do 2 and 3 jobs in order to survive. And because of that exposure, the rates became higher. So in other communities where they have unemployment insurance coming to them and they have this handout and they have this benefit, they were okay. But the Richmond Hill community and our community suffered. And hence, the thing is here that we had to get the vaccines done. So we have deprived ourselves right now because vaccinefinder.nyc.gov is open to everybody. There's no secret password to get on there. Go to the computer, have your grandson or your nephew or your child or whatever, Google it for you. Vaccine Finder, VACCINEFINDER.NYC.gov, G-O-V. And you put that, you'll see the sites taking appointments. You will see your college, make one there. Only one you need, one per person. And then you will see, and you have to make appointments. You just can't walk in there and get a vaccine. Appointment take less than 2-3 minutes. Wow. They just want name and address and so on. And then you have one at Medgar Evers College also. So
well,
I don't want to really one open. If you go on the line and you see Resorts World open, you go on that. Because there's a tendency sometimes to cancel these appointments when the vaccines run out. But to answer your question, Ken, it is because of us. We have deprived ourselves. We have been fairly treated now. We were not fairly treated years about when this pandemic started. We fought, we made noise. They had an assemblyman coming with a bow tie. He come with a bow tie and he got a good warrant. And he attacked in a loud ear, oh, we demand vaccines. So I put him on the spot. I said, who you attack to? That man gave vaccine. You attack on lamppost over there.
Yeah.
He come for pop dog and pony show, and he come for that. And he got his nice bow tie. He just come the hands clean. I said, man, come on. You come to this community to mama guy with us. You're a fool. Yes. What you need to do is to go and ask the governor. Go pick at the governor office and go to City Hall and ask the mayor. Go, where are our vaccines? Where are our vaccines? That's what you got to do. You can't come here and fool us. Then he had some Lefferts and Liberty. Ken, you had like 10 of them there. 10 of them from Rajkumar to Eric Ulrich to Adrian Adams, a whole set of them there. And all they had was a couple boxes of vaccine and a couple masks and a couple sanitizers. They can wash your hand 2 times, a small bottle like this. And the pictures and the press click. I say, hey, what's this? This is a dog and pony show. We don't need that. Don't come to Lefferts and Liberty and do this nonsense. Get y'all and go to the governor office or go to the thing. We don't come and fool us and Sabres are the same thing. And you get some of our people to join them,
Yes.
People join them. You know where they are. They run around and so on. These are the typical, and they sell out. They want to ingratiate themselves with these people. But here's the thing, Ken. It's our tax dollars that pay these people.
Right.
They get over $100,000 a year to represent us.
Yes.
So whether you come with a bow tie, you come with a fancy suit, or however you come, you got to come good once people like me around. Because I'm going to ask you if you think I'm stupid. Because you come in and tell me for virus and me telling me one the same thing. So what is sense you come here for? You come all the way from Rockaway and come in talking nonsense. Go and get it. Go and call the government.
Absolutely.
So a lot of them start to get busy now.
Yes. My next question to you is, we know that in our community, there are so much business because of the pandemic. They had to close. Not a lot of people could go and dine and wine and whatever it is. I know there's a lot of damage done to people in terms of financial problems. Do you think that the government will make any kind of allowance for these people? Or are they getting anything?
No, right now they're not getting anything from my vax. And they have this big talk about it's only the big places with the millions of dollars revenue and outside of our community are getting grants and loans at a very high level. They're being given millions. They could have taken 5% of that money and give it to the small businesses in Richmond Hill, Queens Village.
Yes.
These minority communities, Ozone Park, South Ozone Park, Woodhaven, Ridgewood, Glendale, all these places are suffering and they're closing. And you're seeing the shutters and you're seeing people are dying. I fear because I know Liberty Avenue. I've seen it when I came here in the 70s and 80s, how branding it was.
Yes.
And how we built it. But, a lot of people now have been stagnated and have suffered and lost their businesses. The government must step in and give them loans and grants, things to put them back on their feet, tax concessions, tax breaks. If you can't give money, give tax breaks. Help the people. These small businesses are the engine of our local economy. They thrive. The barber shops, the roti shops, the taxi stands. Some people are losing their taxi medallion. They're going into bankruptcy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people have got to help because people, and a lot of us are small. A lot of us have employments on our own. We are self-employed, and or we have lost our jobs with the government or with whoever, the city and state,
Hmm.
and hence we have to be kept afloat also. And hence there's a need for grants and small business loans and interest-free loans to be given out and given
Hmm.
out now because it's over. It's a year now, and it's very, very difficult for people to survive. And the same thing, since you raised that, also goes to homeowners.
Hmm.
Now, the governor came out with a thing and he froze the rent moratorium. Fancy word, well, I mean, don't pay rent. Screw
Hmm.
your landlord. This is basically what it means, which is wrong.
Right.
You can't dig one hole for fill one hole.
Right.
We can't do. You dig one hole for full another hole.
Hmm.
They're gonna left a hole. And right now, the one holding the hole is the landlord.
Right.
Because the landlord now can't pay mortgage.
Hmm.
He come, he say he live the American dream. He live a house. 15 years, 30 years, he pay a mortgage, and he can't own the house. And you
Yes.
just come and cut this man's dream in two. So what you
Wow.
encourage him to do? To go and commit crime. You're teaching that man to go rob a bank or to rob people or do evil things because he's not seeing his way, and he's trying to live by the law and by the standards of American life and to pursue the American dream legitimately. So what I'm saying too is that there must be some property tax breaks, incentives given to landlords, unemployment insurance given to people, like you said. Those who don't have businesses must
Hmm.
be able to get money to feed their families.
Hmm.
You have some people running around with a plate of food or, a rice. Some of these restaurants, they got 50 of them, a plastic thing, but we can eat one meal. I've always said, instead you give a man a fish, you teach him to fish.
Hmm.
And therefore, once you have a system in place, you can feed people every day, 3 meals a day. You can help small businesses thrive and survive. You can help homeowners to continue to have their homes and live the American dream. And a lot of people, all they got is food, and they go feed police officers. And I love police officers.
Well, I think,
Nobody got free. You got very, very poor people in Richmond and give
yeah,
them food there.
but I think to and to be on the to be what do I say
Devil's
to
advocate. You're
that
always
devil's
on the other side.
as the host, I like to be devil's advocate. One of the things we want to show appreciation, we want to show love for those people who have go out there day in and day out to help our people. And let's close off this by, and then I'm going to come with you with immigration. But I want to say that, despite you're getting this vaccine, please continue to wear your mask. Please continue to practice your safety distance. Stay 6 feet away from people. Keep your continue to wash your hand. Keep your hand sanitizer. Now let's go. I know you're an expert in immigration. What are some of the changes are we seeing with immigration?
Well, now that the Trump administration has gone, you're going to have you have been seeing a lot of rollbacks for the good.
Yes.
You have been less, and this is another thing I want to show the community. There's not going to be agents running around now. Let them run around and give us vaccines. That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Before you run around, look for people, put them in ice and carry them and try to deport them.
Right.
You try go ice and bring the vaccine and set up your shop and give the people the vaccines, because your tax dollars will not be used like that. We're going to go to the congressman and we're going to go there and we're going to make a lot of noise and we're going to protest that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put down your eye shields and start to put on your human shields. We got to help humanity. So actually, President Biden, he stopped funding the wall. He didn't get time with that.
He finished with that wall. Yes, I know that.
His time with that. That's Japanese. So wall gone, and then all this immigration thing gonna die out too. He said we want brains, the dreamers, the people coming with a lot of education and get educated here. He wants to keep them to develop the country, which is great. And he has a more positive attitude. He's gonna listen to asylum applications. He's gonna try to bring immigration. One good thing I want to tell listeners is this: he is going to come into the law for 8 years. If you've been here, you have a path to citizenship.
8 years.
So if you can show you've been here 8 years, you can eventually get citizenship. Now, mind you, that law has not yet been passed, but he has spoken explicitly as to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like an amnesty. 8 years, you've been here, you can show, or 8 years, you gave 4, another 4 more, with no criminal record and stuff like that, problems with the law, you would be able to get your green card, and then you have a path to citizenship.
And
So
my
what do
question
you
to
do,
you,
people? You start to keep your letters. You start to
mhm,
keep your utility bills. You start to
mhm,
keep stuff to show you have been here. Even if it's a simple bill, a receipt from a store, a post office receipt, a letter sent to you, a photograph with a date on it, a newspaper, you hold up the newspaper, you can see the date that you were in the country, you're reading the Daily News or the New York Times or the Newsday or New York Post or one of those paper. It costs $1. You are proving to people and to the world and to immigration that you've been here 8 years
mhm.
from now, going on to 8 years. So utility bills, tax returns, photographs, and tax returns are great. Once you file tax returns and your accountant will tell you don't want any taxes, but at least a record will show you've been here from government records itself
Mhm.
for 8 years. That's the best form. Tax returns,
Mhm.
the bills, utilities from your gas, your heat, your light, your landlord receipt, all these things, photographs. That is how big cases are built and cases are won. Because when the immigration asks, well, what proof do you have you've been here for 8 years? You must be able to bring a file and open the file and said, sir, I have, or ma'am, I have receipts, tax returns, and so forth in this file. And here it is that I've been here for 8 years. I had letters from my family writing from Guyana. Look at the date. The date said I write message 8 years ago. Look at this thing here. This picture was taken when they had some event here during the COVID. I had on my mask. That was in June 2020.
20, right.
So, these are all things that this is a newspaper report about me or whatever. So you have all these things. This is my library card.
Right,
I
right, right.
read books in the library since 5, 4, 6 years ago, whatever. So you show all these cases, you get people's verifying for you when the time comes. So voucher have been seen, Mr. So and so and Mrs. So and so here. I was at this funeral here. This person died 2, 3 years ago. So then for 8 years, things are opening up. Keep the faith. It's going to be a new America. The number one thing is to get this vaccine under control, this virus. And then we can move forward, and America will bear a more friendly face than it was. And
Yes, yes.
talking about that, and I know you've asked me to shed light on this, Ken. What do you do if ICE comes knocking at your door?
Yes.
Well, ICE is not going to come knocking as they used to. They used to have vans coming into Richmond Hill,
Mhm.
ICE vans or undercover vans, and they've been packing up people. They've had quite a few raids. A lot of people have been deported. A lot of people have been sent to detention centers and so forth. So you have ICE has been really taking advantage of this community, and they've been coming and without any kind of notice or warning, and they've been entrapping people and gathering information on people and doing all kinds of illegal things. But the simple thing is this. Now let's understand this. Our community is a very kind community. When you go knock at your neighbor door in Guyana, most likely come for borrow some salt, or he must come for bring you something to eat,
Mhm.
or he must come and ask what you do. In America, it's quite different. People now knock at the door and bring something good for you.
They want
When
money.
you come here and knock on your door, you need to find out who might be knocking on your door, because people are knocking on people's door here. They will call before they come.
Right, right.
Auntie, Pua, whoever will call and say, Mama, come over, Ken. Me cook some nice food today.
Yes, yes.
Good man, we want you to taste some nice
Yes.
curry.
Yes.
What have you?
I know.
But anytime you see like ICE coming at the door now, that's a no-no. Don't open your door.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you don't even speak to them.
Yes.
There's always good to have to know who's coming to your door. A lot of people have this people,
Right.
All people know immigrants who
People.
come to this country, they must have a people on their door. That's their entitlement.
Right.
You need to see who's coming. If it's Bear Nancy or a bear from the forest or a tiger, you need to see who's coming at your door. If it's a
Right.
policeman coming, he's up on drugs and he want to arrest somebody, or he's crazy, or it's ICE. So therefore, people don't open the door. And they can't break down your door. They have to get a warrant. And the judges don't give warrants for that.
Yes, yes. We have like 5 minutes more to go. So let's see. I know I saw some pictures with you and Sita Pandey. Would you want to share any light of your experience with her? Because she's a nightingale. I saw your clips, and you said she is a nightingale of Guyana. So let me hear what you're going to
Yes,
say.
I'm glad if you can play it. It's a 10-minute clip I did on Zoom.
You know what?
And-
The bad thing is I couldn't play it on Zoom. But you could
because
still
I do have
see.
a clip now from
Yeah.
from YouTube. If they go on YouTube,
Right,
and
right.
see the Pandey, you can see it.
Yes.
But Sita Pandey has been, like you said, a nightingale. And I think what she has brought to this community is her humility and the fact that she's been such a wonderful person. I last saw her when we tried to make the wall. I think you were there also. That's
I saw it. No, I couldn't
she was
be
there, and
yes.
we spoke out and we talked about it when Guyana. We were trying to fight for fair elections in Guyana too.
Right,
right. These people who are still there, Lowenfield and Mingo.
We haven't heard anything about them.
These kind of people, I'm still in Guyana. I don't know how come these people are not in jail.
Yes, yes.
People walk around and then read the paper, then we get some $1 million a year. But coming back to Sita Pandey, she's always stood for what is fair and what is right.
Right.
And she has stood with us. And what she brought to the table was this. I'm trying to find that picture with her. What she brought to the table was this wonderful charm. And, she had a kind of a presence about her, a spiritual presence. She was always calm. She was always that dignifies dignity about her that you find in many Indian women, which is lost now. That's from the old school.
Yes.
A lot of people don't have that class about them. And if you ask her to sing or to help, she was not a speaking kind. All of us have their own gifts.
Yes, yes.
She was a singing type. And
that's right.
And songs and devotion can move mountains also, even more than perhaps speeches.
Yes.
And she never got paid for this stuff. And she used her talents in Guyana, made a household name, sang bhajans, Bollywoods, and so on.
Yes.
And I think if she really had a fair shot, she could easily have been in Bollywood.
Yes.
Like you, Ken. If you had a fair shot and we had a fair, so you could have been on CNN. Me too. I would have been gone. But we're building in small steps. And this is what we're trying to tell people. Never put yourself down. Never think you're less than everybody else. We are in a place that, we're not given our fair share and so forth, but we have to keep thriving. We have to keep developing. Rome was not built in a day. We are all pioneers. We must be proud of who we are. You're going to always have, for example, in the chat, you'll get a couple of people whose minds are very small, very tiny.
Right.
Like a needlehead. Those people really and truly will not help society. They will not build it. They can't even do nothing. They can't even shine your shoe can, and they will not even think of doing it. But you have the people with a broader mind like yourself, myself, and Sita Pandey, who will show to the world, this is what we have. Let us grow together. Let us build. Bring the best out of you. Put away negativity. Put away small-mindedness. Put away narrow-mindedness. Always reach for the stars.
That's right.
My father taught me that. My father was a hire car driver, but he had a big heart. And I tried to do that. You have tried to do that. Sita did that. And all good people try to do that. But you will always have the naysayers, the people who are going to put that knife in your back. There's a lot of them around. Another program we're going to expose some of these people. It's called the rotten list or the negative list in our community. But we don't need to actually make them famous now. So what we do is that you ignore these people. You continue to build. You build a radio, TV station if you can. I would like to get elected to office so we can have a voice. So we have masks, COVID, we have a center right here. We think I got to York College. But we'll send it to York College from now. But Richmond Hill High School or John Adams should have been a site. But guess what, Ken? We don't have the clout. So what we do in afar, 160th Street, we go to York College, we take what we can get. But then we want to get what we need to get also. The centers and the community centers, the senior centers, the schools, the hospitals. These are the things we need. The taxi medallions being saved, or people getting unemployment insurance, or people getting, a fair shake and a fair deal. Immigration reforms, everybody becomes citizens, pay your taxes, and let everybody live the American dream. This way the country will build fast, and I think Joe Biden knows this. He's going to help us, and this is the new beginning we're going to have.
As you were talking about CNN and so on, I feel like I'm in my own CNN. I have you, a guy who does so much for the community. You went to Bishop's High School in Guyana. You're an attorney. So, one of the things I want to do and to keep within myself, to keep that humility, to be humble. And like I said, this is my CNN. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity where I get to speak to so many different people. And, I never thought in my mind that this would ever happen. But, like you, I embrace all the blessings that God has blessed me with. So
and God has blessed you richly, my brother. And continue the great work. And when I say CNN, I don't mean any put that. What I mean is that you also are doing more within your community that's deprived than CNN. And I don't even look at CNN too much too. So I would look at you. I would look at my own programs, because this is where we're developing and building. So keep up the great work and continue to build. And we will eventually get there. It may not be in our lifetimes, but at
Yes.
least we'll push the ball very, very far down.
And you know
Almost to the goal.
Yeah, one of the good things that I've seen, on the Ken Rampersaud Show, with you being my guest and I'm the host, we have received a lot of views. We've got over 20,000 views, and some, but we get 20,000, 18,000, and so on. So that's a good thing when we can impact our community. And I want to say personally, thanks to all that you do in our community right here in Queens. So I think we have 4 minutes to go. I give you 2 minutes to say whatever you want to say in closing.
Yes, and I hope we can meet again.
Yes.
We need a longer time because there's so many other issues that I thought about. But of course, we'll give a regular update every week. I can make you that commitment that every week we can do an update, an hour or so, and keep our people on track. As Ken was saying, the most important thing right now is get a COVID vaccine. COVIDfinder.nyc.gov. Write the thing down. COVID vaccine finder, vaccinefinder.nyc.gov. And you go to York College, 168th Street and Liberty, and make sure you're going there. Go and ask the soldiers. No immigration questions asked. Nobody's going to bother you. Who are you and where you? Just tell them, sir, madam, I'd like to come to make. They're very welcoming. I'd like to make an appointment for the vaccine. How old are you? This is my ID card. You suffer from anything? Yes, we suffer from cholesterol. We suffer from blood pressure. We got breathing problem, this, that, and so forth. And they will be able to say, well, okay, let's give you the vaccine. If you don't suffer from these things, then we'll give you an appointment, a few weeks down the line. Make sure you go and you get locked down that vaccine. Don't listen to people tell you, that must be one placebo, or that must one, maybe when I read about Tuskegee. No, the Tuskegee, this kind of thing right now. But you need a vaccine in your arm to live. And the life you save will be your own. The life you save will be your own, not somebody else's life. You got to be responsible. So take one half hour off your time, chachikai chicken or whatever, fried rice or, fancy food. Let it wait. Go there first and get vaccinated. And then after the vaccination, you go home and then go back the next one and I'll give you a card with a date on it. Now, another thing is this. Don't worry with everybody. Come and ask you if you take vaccine or what are you going to do. You go and take the vaccine. It won't kill you. It won't harm you. They got people you can sue. Secondly, if immigration come knocking at the door, you don't have to open it. They have to come with a warrant. And it's very unlikely you're going to get agents running around. They had some people running around here the other day, come check for businesses. And I happened to be on Liberty Avenue. And I had a talk with them. I said, what function you serving? The people are trying to survive and get a plate of meal. And you sitting outside a restaurant as a marshal trying to lock the business down. And they felt ashamed that they left. So you've got to talk to people and let them know, hey, this is humanity. This is God telling us we're all equal. And a lot of us have sinned and we've got to try to live better lives. So let them understand that, Ken.
Okay.
And lastly, I think that we should all try to encourage each other. A lot of people have died. It's sad. It's over 500,000 people died. And a lot of people have died in our community, which we don't even know about. You hear about one, you see some waves here, you see, but God there's been a lot of people. You're one of the few who have survived this, and God has given a purpose for you. When I see your little kids, I realized that, you didn't deserve that, your family didn't deserve it. Yeah. And God listened, and He delivered you.
Amen.
The second man, amen to that. And thank you for your goodness.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I say thank you very much. And, as we go on, I'm going to plan some nice questions for you to answer later on coming up so we can, help our community. Again, thank you, Albert. And we want to say thank you to all our viewers for watching this special edition of the Ken Rampersaud Show on Island Zone Radio. Until then, have a very pleasant evening. And Albert, you continue to do the great work that you do in our community. Until then.
Thank you very much, Ken, and all the listeners.
Thank you.
Namaste, assalamu alaikum, and shalom, and may God bless you all. Keep safe, wear your mask. Even if you get a vaccine, wear the mask.
Yes.
And not talk too much of people unless it's necessary.
All right. Yes. All right. Until then, good evening.